Tony Dungy, Hall of Famer. He'll be there working Sunday night. Chargers-Patriots AFC wild card game for NBC and Peacock kickoff at 8 Eastern. Tone, good to talk to you again. I saw where the John Harbaugh situation really bothered you. Why?
Well, we were at the game, Dan, covering the game, Pittsburgh and Baltimore. And leading up to it, all we're hearing is whichever coach loses the game is in trouble. And I'm thinking, here's a guy who's been there 19 years, another guy's been there 18 years. They've been to Super Bowls, they've been in the playoffs. Why are you in trouble? Well, I interviewed Mike Tomlin Saturday. I'm in Art Rooney's office, and I sit for 30 minutes with Art Rooney, and I come to the conclusion Mike Tomlin is not in trouble. I sensed that from talking to Art. Well, Baltimore loses the game. Their kicker misses a kick. Otherwise, they'd be hosting a home playoff game, and John Harbaugh gets fired. And you look at the stats and what they've done, winning 12 games, 13 games in the last 3 years, going to the playoffs. I just don't understand it. I get it. It's happened. It happened to me. We went to the playoffs 3 times and I got fired. That's life. But I don't know what these owners are thinking sometimes. Hopefully they get a better coach than John Harbaugh. I'm not sure they will.
Well, that's just it. It feels like the fans want change, but then who are you bringing in who's better than Mike Tomlin or better than John Harbaugh? Yeah. But do you sometimes need a change just for change's sake because it's been the same thing 18 years, 19 years?
I don't believe in that. I think if you're an owner, and maybe that's what happened. Maybe Steve Bisciotti says, I look at this, it's not going in the direction I want, and I've got to change, and that's his prerogative. That's good. But hopefully you're not changing as a reaction to the fans or our fan base is upset or our locker room's upset because we lost this game. Hopefully it is a well thought out decision. And sometimes it works out great. The Bucs fired me. They went to the Super Bowl the next year. I went to the Super Bowl in Indianapolis. So sometimes it works out well.
Why were you fired?
I was fired because they didn't like our offensive style, and they didn't think I was a guy who could take it to the next level. When I got there, we'd had 13 straight losing seasons. We win. We go to the playoffs 4 years out of 6. We're 2 minutes from a Super Bowl, but they didn't think I could take it to the next level, and that's fine. That's their prerogative. John Gruden, and that's what I will say this about Baltimore. If you're Steve Bisciotti, you better get a guy who's ready to take this roster that's set up to win and win now. Don't train a coach for 5 years from now and all of that. You better get somebody who can do it for you right now.
What's the right fit for John Harbaugh?
We were talking about that on our NBC podcast. I look at Atlanta right now, and you've got a couple of quarterbacks there. You've got, I think, the best running back in football. You drafted some young defensive players that amp that defense up. It's not a great division, and you won. You beat all the people in your division the last couple of weeks. You came on in December. I think that could be a very, very attractive spot.
Could you pass on the Giants if you're John Harbaugh?
I don't know about John. I would pass on the Giants because I don't want that New York drama. I could do a lot of things and coach a lot of other places besides have to have those press conferences. I've seen Aaron Glenn. I've seen Brian Dable in those Monday press conferences in New York. I don't know if I would want that.
Okay, so Atlanta you like a lot.
Yes.
What other position?
There's a couple of teams there. You have to look at the Giants. You've got a young quarterback there who looks like the quarterback of the future. The Titans look like they've drafted their quarterback of the future. It's not a great division either. I would be worried about, what's really going on in the front office in Nashville. And are they going to give me a chance to succeed? You had a pretty good coach in Mike Vrabel, and you let him go. I think he's a pretty good coach. So that might worry me a little bit. But, any place. When I went to Tampa, they told me not to go to Tampa. Oh, it's a death knell for coaches. Don't go. So you just got to get comfortable with the organization there, with the people that are going to be your bosses, and make it work.
Yeah, the Browns situation would make me nervous that you've kept your GM. I don't trust the owner. You don't have a quarterback.
That's a pretty dicey threesome there, yeah. and although we're getting that way with a lot of these franchises, then you look at the Raiders. I saw a thing that they're paying all these coaches 70,
Yeah.
$80 million. They've had a different coach every year. What's the game plan? When are you going to say this is my guy and I'm going to stick with him? It was so refreshing to be in Art Rooney's office, and I told him about how his grandfather had impacted me and Chuck Noll, and he's sitting there, and they've had three coaches in 60 years. And this is how we do it. We pick a guy, we support him, we stand behind him, and it just doesn't seem like we're getting that now.
I've brought this up many times that if I was taking a job, I want to know how involved my owner is going to be, because they built their money to buy this team, but they didn't build it by being a football guy. And sometimes you come into those situations, and look, I know Jerry Jones played college football at a high level at Arkansas. But most of these owners didn't play. They're not football guys. And being able to delegate is really important. And I think it's hard for these billionaires to do that.
Yeah, and the other thing is you have to have a sense of what the owner is looking for. I can remember talking to Dan Rooney, and he told me, his blueprint. We're in Pittsburgh. It's cold weather. It's blue collar. So I want a defensive coach. That's how we're going to build it. I want a young guy because I don't want to do this every 4 or 5 years. And I want a teacher and a communicator because that's how I learn. So that was his blueprint. Give me a young, good communicating defensive coach. So 1969, he hires Chuck Noll as a 30-year-old, something that nobody had ever heard of. And then 23 years later, he hires Bill Cowher. And then 16 years after that, he hires Mike Tomlin. All this, that he knew what he was looking for. I talk to owners now, and then they'll ask me, well, who's good out there? What are you looking for? I don't know. Just tell me who's good. No, that's not it. What do you want? And I remember my conversation with Jim Irsay. Hey, we've got a young offense. It's in place. I want you to come here, get our defense going. I also like the way you connect with the fans and the fan base. We haven't been here that long. We need to connect with Indianapolis. That's what I'm looking for. In 15 minutes, he had sold me on what we were going to do because I believed what he wanted, that I could deliver that for him. It's more than just money. It's more than opportunity. It's more than, hey, you're a good play caller. What do you want?
Talking to Tony Dungy, Hall of Famer, and you can watch Chargers-Patriots in Foxborough Sunday night on NBC and Peacock. They get their festivities started, Football Night America at 7:30 Eastern. Which quarterback's under the most pressure this weekend?
Wow. Josh Allen, for one. I think you can look at it and say, Kansas City's not in. This is your year to go to the playoffs. You're going to be on the road. But we expect big things. You've been Superman in the past. We need Superman again. Justin Herbert in our game has played great. He's played lights out. They don't have a very good offensive line in front of him. You're going to have to go on the road and try to win a game. Those two guys in the AFC for sure. On the NFC side of it, Matthew Stafford. You went to Carolina a month ago. We thought you had the best team in football. You turned the ball over 3 times. If you don't turn the ball over, everybody expects you to win this game. Go into your playoff mode and produce.
Feels like Sam Darnold's going to be under pressure when the Seahawks play because we keep waiting.
Yep.
We're waiting to see, is this a different Sam Darnold? I think Trevor Lawrence being at home, playing at a high level, and we've bought into Trevor Lawrence and the Jags, feels like there's a lot of pressure there as well. What about most pressure for a coach in the playoffs?
Oh, I think right now Mike Tomlin for sure. I mean, and not from his ownership, but from his fan base. Oh, we're tired of this 9 and
But can
8,
you imagine
10.
if they lose? They're underdogs at home, Tony.
Yes. And if they lose, it'll be, oh, it's the same narrative. We're not very good. Forget about last week. Forget about this last month. You lost another playoff game. And I know his players don't want that. They want to win for him. I sense that. Most of these other teams, you got new coaches, new faces. Everybody's just excited and ramped up. Maybe Matt LaFleur. You've been in the playoffs a few times, and you've had some upsets earlier on, but now where are we? Let's get this thing going.
Great to talk to you. Happy New Year. Great to see you again.
Thank you, buddy. Always good to talk to you.
Tony Dungy, Hall of Famer, and you can see the Patriots hosting the Chargers. That'll be Sunday night, Football Night in America.